I've got a bit of a problem with some of our tomato seedlings that we've started. These are our Uncle Leo tomatoes, and they usually start really well from seed, but we've got a bit of a problem. We've got some odd looking plants and some very stunted looking plants, and I'm just not sure why. If you're growing your own heirloom seeds, if you're growing heirloom tomatoes or any other kind of heirloom seed, you may be interested in watching this video to see how our experiment pans out. We started these seedlings here in our nursery area. It's covered here, there's plenty of light, the little seedlings aren't shooting up, they're not leggy, which usually happens if there's not enough light. There's something else amiss, so I thought I'd take them here on our porch. But right here, it gets really hot in the daytime. It's probably in the mid-30s at the moment, and at night time it gets really cold. So we move them again here to another area of the porch that's a little bit more shaded. There's a few other plants around, and I'm hoping that they'll take off here. We've been growing these tomatoes for years and years, and they are generally very strong, very robust. They usually sprout really easily. The germination rate on these Uncle Leo tomatoes is fabulous usually, and they germinated well, but a lot of them just haven't survived, and the ones that have are really not growing. They're not doing well at all. So I'm experimenting a little bit. I've got some of our PSB and some worm tea. About 10% of this little bottle is worm tea. I'm going to dilute this even further into our watering can and just give them just a touch every day. I'm also going to put some of our homemade compost, which is just a lightweight compost, but really aged and really good, so it's not too strong. I'll put that on some of the plants and leave some of the other ones. So we've got a bit of variation to our experiment. And we'll keep updating this video, and hopefully at the end of the video you'll see us planting them out in the garden. It's been about 3 weeks since I showed you these tomato seedlings, and it's been quite an interesting experiment because these pots here were the ones that I didn't put any compost on. These ones here that are growing nicely, or most of them, I did put compost in. There's just 1 out of the 6 that hasn't done so well, and there's a couple of them that have got 2 or 3 plants in them, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, I've got one nice big one, and then this one here is not doing so well at all, but this 2, 4, 6, 8 containers that I didn't put any of our lovely rich compost in haven't done so well. I've got a nice little area that I'm going to plant them in here. Hopefully it's not too late in the season, but I think it might be because it's the beginning of February now, and once the weather starts getting really hot into March and certainly into April, the tomatoes won't set flowers, so we won't get any fruit. But I'll plant them anyway and just give it a shot. But I'm thrilled to know that the quality of our compost has made a really fabulous difference in these seedlings, so I'll be adding just a touch, just a little to each pot in the future as I'm planting seeds. And certainly as I put them in the ground now, I've got a bucket of compost here, and I'll be giving a good handful or 2 to these plants once they're in the ground. If you'd like to know a little bit more about these tomatoes, our heirloom Uncle Leo tomatoes, you can check out this video next. Thanks for watching all the way through.